everybody, and welcome back to 5 Minute Gaming News, the show that may or may not be 5 minutes. Our first story today, PlayStation's new subscription plans. We talked about it last week, how we might get information this week. Well, we have it now directly from the source. Under the new subscription plan, there are 3 tiers of service, each with varying benefits. PlayStation Essential, which is just PlayStation Plus. It's $60 a year and will have the exact same perks as PlayStation Plus, the free games every month thing, cloud storage, multiplayer, discounts on select titles. The next tier up is PlayStation Plus Extra. At $100 a year or $15 a month, it features everything from the previous tier plus up to 400 games. Please note the up to caveat there. And those will be for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. They'll be downloadable, and really, at the end of the day, this seems more like a continuation of PlayStation Now. In fact, current PlayStation Now users will be converted to this tier at launch. And then there's PlayStation Plus Premium at $120 a year or $18 a month. It's going to add another 340 games focusing on PlayStation's back catalog. We're talking PSP, PS2, PS3. Those will be the titles available here. But it looks like many of those, the PlayStation 3 ones, for example, are locked behind cloud game streaming, which I'm going to say I'm not the biggest fan of. The premium tier has that cloud streaming, but also game trials, which is something I don't really know players want, but I guess offering them the ability to try a game before they buy can be good, assuming they are new titles and titles players want information on. Because the biggest thing, and you'll notice I did not mention it there was no hint of day one drops of any games that you would get on this service. There is no discussion of like, well, when God of War Ragnarok comes out, expect it on PlayStation Plus Premium. There is none of that. And if they're not going to even address that or even offer that as a service, there's no way this competes with Game Pass. If anything, this all just kind of seems like an experiment to see what players are willing to pay for what and at what tiers, and maybe later they will offer these things like day one games. But right now, I just don't think it's all that special. I don't know. What do you think? This is what the comments are for. Let me know. In other news, Bungie is mad as hell and they're not gonna take it anymore. Earlier this month, multiple DMCA copyright takedown notices were filed against prominent Destiny content creators on YouTube. At the time, there was nothing different about the content being created, and no one could figure out why the strikes were happening right now or why they were being issued. Ironically, and perhaps hilariously, Bungie themselves got strikes on their own content. So of course, there was a huge uproar at the time. Everyone was trying to figure out what was going on. People were attacking Bungie. Bungie came out and said, like, it wasn't us. We weren't responsible. None of our partners were responsible. But a lot of people still went after them, accusing them of hiring a third-party service to go after copyright strike things. And I'll be honest, a lot of companies do that. And then the third-party company, they just like algorithm the hell out of it and like put in a little program and then have it do its work. And then it just copyright strikes things that shouldn't be copyright stricken. And it happens all the time. It's happened to me. It's happened to every other YouTuber. It sucks. YouTube does nothing. And let's just continue the story. Bungie, apparently tired of being accused of being responsible for this, decided to take it into their own hands to discover who was responsible. And they say they have, now suing 10 unnamed defendants over multiple allegations of fraud, false designation, copyright infringement, business defamation, and more, according to PC Gamer. What's even crazier is they go on to say, in mid-March, one or more individuals used a Gmail address modeled after those by one of Bungie's IP protection partners to send out a wave of DMCA takedown notices against videos that weren't actually infringing on any of its policies. The same address was then used to send messages to content creators claiming that authentic takedown notices issued previously were in fact fraudulent. The defendants also allegedly sent abusive messages to Bungie's legitimate IP protection partner. And what's even wilder is that all the hate Bungie got and all the hassle they had in dealing with this clearly got to them because they went after YouTube as well. The lawsuit describes YouTube's DMCA policies as flawed and suffering from a gaping security loophole that allows literally anyone, including a disgruntled infringer or a competitive content producer, to issue takedown notices without verification. Restoring videos and removing copyright strikes, on the other hand, is much more difficult. Bungie had to work through several layers of YouTube contacts before it could adequately communicate and begin addressing the problem, the suit states. And then it goes into the step-by-step process they had to go through and how no one was willing to help them and how they went through all their contacts and they were useless. And I cannot stress to you how much this just hits me in the core of my being. In fact, 99.9% of YouTubers have gone through this and dealt with the fact that YouTube is like, yeah, no, you can flag whatever. And then we have to defend ourselves, which is an insane way of doing things. And I'm so glad a major company is hitting them with this about how crazy it is. Will it change anything? Probably not. But I'm glad more and more people are seeing the insanity behind it. And hopefully, maybe this will get YouTube to look at this policy. But like I said, they probably won't. But like, what if they did? Anyway, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching and commenting and sharing and thumbs upping and all the different things. Hey, even subscribing. Let's do this thing. Let's just subscribe. Just subscribe already. Also, thank you to everyone over on patreon.com/Jesse Cox. You're the best, as always, especially Radon Max, Joe L, and Josh Oakes. Thank y'all so much. That's it for 5 Minute Gaming News. I'll see you tomorrow.